Hi, everybody. Welcome to another live fly tying session with me here, Peter Driver, from Pescari Fly. How you doing, Yano? Brian Kenny's on there. Dave Donovan's on. Ricky Croak, Dennis Goulin. Who else have we got on with us there tonight? Declan Smith. How you doing, Declan? Declan was down during the week there, picking up a few bits. Brian Canty, good to see you the other day too, Declan. Or Brian. Brendan Splan, Kieran Sherlock, Wayne. How you doing? Graham, John Shaw. I hope everybody's keeping well. How you doing, Liam? Liam Long. How's things, Liam? You heading to the nightclub tonight, Liam? Nightclubs are back open, folks. So another little bit of normality, but as usual, the government managed to make a mess of it by introducing the ticketing. A lot of people giving out, but sure, we're here anyway. Saturday night live fly tying. Great to have everyone back on. Perfect evening for it, folks. It's lashing rain outside, wind baiting off the window, and great evening for a bit of fly tying. So I hope everyone's in good form. Graham Connolly's in the middle of the North Sea. Would like to be there tonight, Graham. Is a rough up there. Aidan Gill is on there. How you doing, Aidan? Owen is on there. How you doing, Owen? So I hope everyone's keeping well. Chris Oliver, how you doing, Chris? So tonight is Zonker Night. Tom Martin, how you, Tom? Hope you're keeping well from Utah. Great to see you on with us here, Tom. Hope everyone's keeping well over there. So tonight is Zonker Night. So we're going to be tying some really versatile and useful Zonker patterns tonight that I've been using over the last number of years, decades, if you even want to say, and going to share them with you tonight. Got some really nice patterns to show you. Tom Ankertel, how you doing? He's gone to bed now. He's tired after being on the beat, Tom. Patrick McVeigh and Patrick Phelan, how you doing? Hope the coppers of fly time. Very good, Peter. Very good. So Tim Sullivan, how you doing, Tim? And James, how you doing there, James? Jamie Conway's on with us as well. Congratulations to Jamie. Jamie won our flies from last week's show. Don't forget, if you want to win the flies from this week's show, all you got to do is hit that share button on the stream, share the stream, or throw up a comment on the comment section, and also in YouTube for all our YouTubers tomorrow. I hope you're all having a good weekend. Just put a comment in the comments box, and then Deirdre will bring all that together. I don't do that stuff. I can't handle that stuff. Deirdre brings all the comments together from the streams, and the computer generates the winner. So Jamie won the flies last week. How you doing, Sean Maher? And congratulations to Deirdre Delaney on winning her gloves last weekend. We got another prize to give away tonight. We're going to give you a whole selection of our Zonkers, the Pescari Fly Zonkers. I got a whole selection of them here. We got loads of different types of Zonkers in the shop. We're going to talk a bit through different types of Zonkers and all as we go through the evening. Quick shout out to Josh Walker's birthday, Eric Salvage from Syndicate. Josh, a very good friend of the show here and a good friend of all of us guys. Happy birthday, Josh. Conor McRae, and Conor had a birthday yesterday as well. So Conor normally tunes in with us. If you're on there, Conor, a happy birthday. By the way, it was at AWOL last week, the start of AWOL. Gianluca's in Wales. How you doing, Gianluca? I hope the fishing was good for you today. John Stewart's on there. We were in AWOL. Don't ask me how I got on. I don't really want to talk about it. It wasn't a good day at the office. But congratulations to Marius Lichtovis, who won the first round of AWOL with 10 fish. Hubert Smith was second with 10 fish. And John Bird was third with 10 fish. So well done to all the guys. Didn't get a good run of it, but the boys did well. To do well. So well done, Marius and Hubert and John and everybody else in AWOL. It's great to be back at it. Great to be meeting up with everyone again. And hi, John Bird. John Bird's on there as well. How you doing, John? Graham Lonning's on there. No Zonker question now, David. No. How you doing, Dylan Roberts? Dylan's on there from the Welsh D. I'll be on the Welsh D next Friday. I can't wait. Next Friday and Saturday I'll be on the Welsh D. So there'll be no live fly tying next Saturday night, unfortunately, folks. I'll stick up a video or something for you. How you doing, Michael McGlynn? John Ditch is on there. Malcolm Brown, Robert Flaherty, Patrick Burke. How you doing? So, next Saturday night, unfortunately, I'll be coming back from Wales, so I won't do a live show next Saturday. How you doing, Mark? Next Saturday night, I'll be coming back from Wales. I won't get back on time, so we're going to take a little break next week, and then we're going to be getting into. Hi, Tom O'Connor. Life is good, thank you. We're going to be getting into Nymph in November, so we're going to do a few little things for Nymph in November. That's going to be worth watching. So make sure you check out that one. Okay, let's get down to some action here and get some fly tying going. How is the fishing in leash angling? Mark was on it today. How you doing, Dick Croak? Mark was on it today, James, and it's patchy enough. The water temperatures are only starting to drop a little bit, so it's patchy enough. So what we're going to do is Zonker Night tonight, as I said. Actually, I'm going to move that camera around a bit now because we're going to do some Zonkers tonight. So whether you're fish for pike, perch, trout, rainbows, bass, Zonkers are something that are just one of the most versatile flies. How you doing, Mary? You were unlucky, Peter. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wasn't lucky. I was following Dennis around. In all fairness, Dennis, you didn't leave me much. But I think if I was following, if I was going on the Virgin Pegs, Dennis, I don't think I would have got them anyway. Completely at the wrong game. Oh, great, Mark. Yeah, you'll be around next Saturday. It'd be great. Looking forward to 2 days on the D for a few grayling. But, the zonker fly, minkies, snakes, whatever way you want to tie zonkers, they're so versatile. They're a fry representation. They catch fish everywhere. They catch all kinds of species of fish. So, tying a selection of zonkers is always something that you can turn to. Streamer fishing on rivers, whatever it may be. Say stocky bashing at the moment. Zonkers are a must-have. And I know there's lots of variations and different things out there. But these are a couple that I've always, hi, noon, Tomez. These are always a couple of really good zonkers that have served me well over the years. And I want to share them with you. So in the vice here, I got a 302 size 10 to Haku. And I'm just going to start by adding on a little bit of the Biscari Kevlar. Hope everyone's having a good week. Everyone's enjoying their weekend. How you doing, Michael Sexton? Good to have you on. Hope everyone's enjoying their week. And a lot of people are on midterm now for the next week. I know my wife is off, so that gives me a little bit of spare time. Hence, I'm going to Wales. How you doing, Alan? From Adair in Scotland. Good to have you on, Alan. Now, what I'm going to do is add in a little bit of fine monofilament here, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to just trap it in that way first. So, trap it in with the longer section out over the eye. Couple of turns. And then pull it back over the hook again. So I'm doubling it back on itself. And basically that is just to secure it in as best as possible as I can. Because give it a couple of really good lashings down, get a good solid base under this fly. Because when I go to pull that up over the zonker and use that to trap in my zonker, that's going to be the main structural part of the fly to keep the whole thing together. When you have everything tied in, the body and all done, you give that a bit of a pull to kind to tighten up a bit. You don't want to slipping out from under the trade, so it can sometimes happen, and it's a bit of a sickener. So I always double back over, plenty of lashings on there, and form a good base to start off your fly. Okay. Now we got a little bit of cactus chenille here, micro cactus chenille from Hens. This comes in a range. How you doing, Kevin? This comes in a range of colours. I think I have a load of it on the way, actually, in from Hens. We're shipping the Hens on the way. Really, really fine, lovely little cactus chenille. Very good for small little bodies. But, you can put in a body of whatever you want. This is a little micro zonker. I suppose my best memory of this zonker being really efficient was one year when I was practicing up in Woodford for All Ireland League thing. All Ireland Banks competition. These little micro zonkers were working a treat up there for me at the time. So I fished them still regularly, and they still can take some fish. Lock style. I say it's not all about zonker fishing. Is not all about banks. It can be quite effective. Lock style as well. Early season when they're chasing fry, different things like that. So Michael, this one is a stone foe bobbin holder I'm using here, as you can see. Yeah, thanks Thomas. Stone foe bobbin holder, and it's hi Davey Harrison's on there with us. A stone foe bobbin holder, and straighten it up a bit. Norman's on there for a Moraine Bahamas. That makes me feel a lot better, Norman. Thanks. It actually really does cheer me up that you're in the Bahamas and it's lashing rain there too. So cheers me up a little bit. Now, when it comes to zonkers, there's a good few selection of different, what would you say, zonker strips from different animals. This is a little muskrat zonker. Okay, little lovely fine muskrat zonker, very soft and lovely for doing these little micro ones. You get squirrel, you get rabbit, you can get mink, which is very good. Mink zonkers are very good, and I use a lot of mink. We have a large selection of zonkers in the shop. If anybody wants any advice on them, please feel free to give us a shout in time. But there is quite a large. Rabbit would be the most common. But for something like this, I'm just using a little bit of muskrat. Very soft, natural grey. Lovely for a little fly like this. And as you can see, when I tie in my zonker, I tie it in with a nice bit of over. Hi, Dalty. A nice little bit over the skin hanging over the eye. And I leave that alone for a moment because, how you doing, Trevor? Because as I'm working with the rest of the fly and getting everything secured in, sometimes, you might tap that thread and it falls out over the eye. Great, great, good stuff, Jim. Thanks for that. No, I can't say I have Thomas Campbell. No, I haven't. Philip Brett, this is a Zonker. It's a mini Zonker. Let's get that camera up a little bit more there for you folks. So just leave that little bit on there for the moment. We'll sort all that out. Once you got your Zonker trapped in, wetting up your fingers and your thumbs, get all that hair standing up there. Makes it very easy to get to work it and get the what you call it trapped down the skin. So I just expose a piece of skin, take my monofilament, and just get that in up there. Keeping a good tight tension on that mono, and start splitting that. Hey Ray, you're not looking too bad yourself. I hope you're keeping well up there in Strayed Fishery, and all is good with you. So trap it in. Still keeping the tension on that monofilament. I want to keep that nice and tight. Couple of turns over the top. Then take the tension off the mono and put the tension onto the thread. Or sorry, it should be put the tension onto the thread and then take the tension off the mono. And just again double that back on itself, just to secure that whole thing in. Make sure it's nice and tight. Good question, Chris. In competition, some competition rules, yes, there is a rule. There's a rule about the length of the zonker. Other than that, it's your personal preference. It all depends on the zonker I'm tying. You'll see by some of the zonkers we do tonight, some will have longer tails than others, and I'll explain for a particular reason why that would be the case. And some people feel comfortable fishing. Yeah, same over here, Richie. Good to have you on, Richard. But some people like to fish with some people do like to fish with a longer tail than others. But you've got to fish it accordingly so then as well. You can get a lot of takes. We're going to talk a little bit about that there as well. We actually have some special guests coming up tonight. I should have mentioned it. Marius and Darius actually popped into the shop here one day, and I nabbed them for a little bit. Very good. Thanks a million for that, Tim. Brilliant. A little bit of history there from Tim. Great stuff. Land of the Rain. Dave will be on for his trivia tonight as well. Dave's trivia. But Marius and Darius were in the shop here one day, and I nabbed them for a little bit of an interview at the end of the season. And we have that little bit of an interview coming up later on today for you as well. So that's the little tail on that one. It's not a long fly, say it's a small little zonker. I'd actually even go a bit smaller on that, and I'm going to taper the cut on the bottom. That skin just to taper it out a bit. Zonkers don't always have to be massive big, as you can see. Massive big. The focus is a little bit off on that, I think, is it? Just bear with me 1 second, folks, and I'll just have a quick go to focus on that for a second, and just make sure I get it. Yeah, that's called a snake, James. We'll be doing one of them shortly now as well. We got 4 good patterns for you here tonight, folks. Camera control. There we go. That's getting a bit better now. All right, that's a little bit out. That's much better, I think. Okay, hope everyone's happy with that. Now, yeah, exactly, Dennis. Yeah, the 2 former squid members, right. So now that we've everything well trapped in, well secure, we can now tidy up that little wedge of tan skin that we had up at the top. Let's remove that over away. Couple of turns there. Tidy it all up, and we'll finish that off there now in a second. Very simple little fly, very effective. Can be done in any, colour formations. It's endless with zonkers. What you can do here, I got a little bit of gleamy dubbing. It's a hen's gleamy dubbing, this one. Not necessarily a metallic dubbing, but has a lovely little fleck to it. Very similar to kind of a seal's fur. Now I normally do use a little bit of wax on this one, but I don't have wax here. So I'm just going to force it on. Wax is downstairs, but I'm not going down it first. I'll make do. So I have a nice little red gleamy head dubbing on this one. Build it up. Don't worry about it run the thread through it being a bit loose. If you don't have gleamy dubbing, seal's fur or a metallic dubbing will do just fine too. Okay, before we move on any further. Hey, Robbie. Probably there is animals there tonight. We give that a good brush back, and we want those red strands of that dubbin to brush its way back into it. And we need to add a little bit more. We'll add a little bit more there now in a minute. Just to get a nice even taper on that head. Just brushing it out. And then brushing it back. Just like so. We can whip finish that off now. We're finished putting our materials onto that for a minute with thread. Yeah, absolutely. John Shaw's Dragger works very good too, yeah. Tidy that one off. What we want to do now is going to stick on some eyes there. Our eyes, do eyes make a massive difference? Good stuff, Neil. Do eyes make a massive difference? On some of them, I would really, say, yeah, you need eyes in those. These little micros, I do like an eye on them. Some of the bigger stuff, I wouldn't say it's as important as some, as it wouldn't be as important to say catch a fish as it would to be catching the angler if you're looking to sell them to them. I'm just putting a little bit of resin here. So there's a couple of ways you can put on eyes. They are self-sticky. They can be very hard to get stay there for any great length of time. You can use different types of glues and super glues and things like that. What I tend to do over the last while is I take my artist brush with a bit of resin on it, put a blob there on the side of the fly. I find this the easiest way to do it for the last while. I'm going to double on that brush there now. Just up there on that red. As you can see, I have my blob there now. I then take a needle and I will take out the small little yellow eye. Place it in there on the blob. See, and the one thing about this is I can play around with it until I set it myself. That's the one thing I like about this, so I can really get that eye into the exact position I want it before I set it with the pen. And then once you set it with that pen, it's there and it's not going anywhere. I can promise you that. You can double up now and put a little bit of resin in there as well between the two eyes once you get the two eyes done. But say the thing I like about using the resin is I can maneuver, like if you were using super glue, the second it hits it, there's a good chance it's going to stick. And if you don't get it into the right position at exactly where you want it, well then there's a chance you could have a lopsided fly, or it just doesn't look as nice as you would have liked it to look. Resin, I can put in that blob of resin. That won't set until I hit it with the pen. And that's just solar res resin. Find the solar res the best of the lot. Hit that side again. Take your eye off on your little needle. Place it in there on top of the blob. Turn your fly to side so I can see both eyes now, and then I can maneuver that one into position and then give it a quick hit. And there we go. And then the other thing about the resin too, it doesn't run through like super glues and some other glues where it's all messy and sticky and blobby and stuff. Once you put that blob there, that blob will stay there till you hit it with the pen. Thanks, Dennis. That blob will stay there till you hit it with the pen. And then they're rock solid, like they're not going anywhere, Very simple little micro minky, little streamer. Has got lots of fish with it. Really couldn't get simpler. Very simple colour combinations. That lovely soft muskrat. It is a lovely zonker. I don't think we have muskrat downstairs. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Kieran. Thanks, Dennis Goulin. But it's a lovely little streamer. Size 10. You can tie them down to size 12s. I've even done them in 14s. Thanks, James. Great little streamer and certainly can catch a lot of fish on its day. One well worth having a selection. I do little black ones and all that kind of stuff as well. Very strong little fly. And really can, even say lock style and stuff like that, it can get and catch an awful lot of fish. And zonkers are something that, in between my river boxes, my lake boxes, my bank boxes, my saltwater boxes, there's zonkers and everything, So that's all there is, Robert. I use always the tin and hard. Okay, you can use the flexi on that now as well if you want, but for me it's always the Solars tin and hard. That's just the big bottle I have. They're so handy, and I just thanks Sorka. I just use that for everything. really quite interesting. But their whole range of stuff is lovely. I use their black resin quite good. Thanks to, do you know what? That's a really good question, Tom. Not really. Not really. They do a whole range of that micro chenille, cactus chenille from Hanes. We have it coming in a little while. Thanks, Eddie. We have it coming in, a whole blast of that coming in our next big shipment from Hanes, and you'll see that up on the website at some stage. But it comes in a whole range of colours and some very interesting colours as well. So there we have, folks. There's the first one that's going to go into the tub. Now, don't forget, in order to win tonight's flies, all you got to do is yeah, absolutely, Neil. All you got to do is share the live stream on your page or wherever, and you will be automatically entered into the draw, which will happen Wednesday at some stage whenever Deirdre gets a chance to. Remind me, I'm just tidying up some of the stuff here, and I'll get out the next Zonker. To be in for the draw for. Yeah, I love this one. To be in for the draw for the. So we're going to do draw for flies. Sorry, I'm thinking and doing 2 or 3 things here at one time, folks. It's so the UV torch, Chris, is a pen. Okay, it's our UV pen. We have them online in the shop there as well. It's a simple UV pen, far better than any torch. The laser beam will set. The laser beams will set. Thanks, Billy. The laser beams set resin far quicker than a torch, as far as I'm concerned. I've been using resin for a long, long time, and I always find the laser pen will outdo any torches. And I've seen torches that go up as far as €80. Nah, UV laser pen, absolutely, 100%. So the next one we're going to do is what I call a silver minky. Okay, this is one now I've used an awful lot for it. I've caught a lot of fish on this thing, even sea bass and everything. I was cutting out a pair of twin eyes there. A lot of sea bass and stuff like that, and it's basically what I call my silver minky. So I'm going to take out a size 10 streamer hook here. Again, can be tied in various sizes, but size 10 streamer hook is generally what I tend to tie it up. Okay. And let's get a lashing of that. Thread on. Go back to our monofilament. Monofilament goes on every one of the flies. Well, bar the snake. I won't be going on the snake, but good question there, Tim. I know for me personally, if I'm fishing zonkers, say on a bank session, I will fish them on their own. I like to fish a zonker on their own. Same process for tying in the monofilament, folks. Tie it out over the head, double it back, trap it in well, make sure this fly is going to be nice and secure. I like to fish them on their own. If I'm going sinking lines, I'll tend to fish them on a short leader. If I'm going, and it depends if it's a booby snake, if it's a beaded snake. If it's a booby snake or a beaded snake, well then, or our streamer, it'll all depend on how long the leader is, what the line is I'm using. But I do like to fish them on their own. I know a lot of people fish them in doubles as well, but I like to fish them on their own. Okay, for the body of this one, we're using Hen's Metallic Dub and Silver. Obviously, the title of the fly gives it away a bit. Silver Zonker. Dubbing on, that's lovely stuff. Great stuff to work with. A bit messy now because there's silver stuff here flowing around the whole place now at the moment. But actually, I forgot a little process there. Excuse me, I forgot to put on my bead out and I dropped them. So you can fish this with a single bead, you can fish it without a bead, or you can fish it with twin eyes. And for this one, I'm going to just put on a double twin eye head. Couple of turns back and forth across those to secure them in. For this particular fly, I do like the beads on top. Turn it upside down. I do, Dylan, I do. Thanks, Carol. A little bit of zappa gap in there, but just to stop those bead eyes from twisting around. That'll set them in there now, keep them nice and straight. So once we got our dubbing up, then we're going to take our zonker, okay? So it is kind of chinchilla zonker or natural grey, whichever you want. This is rabbit, as you can see, compared to the last one. It's a much deeper a deeper zonker, a lot more hair in there. And what you can see is I have a little bead there. So it's kind of like a take on a bunny leech in a way, where you have that little bead stuck up on that. So in order to get that bead, what you got to do, I use just plastic beads, okay, because there's a little bit of give in them. Sometimes I even heat them up a little bit so I can pull that zonker right through. I can pull that zonker right through. So all I do is I get my bead, put a thread bobbin or a bobbin threader through the bead like so, and then I've just got another old piece here to show you. I then put the zonker in there as well, and then basically pull the whole thing through. You got to work it, okay? You really got to work it through. Take your time. Sometimes it'll break off you, sometimes it won't. You know, but most times take your time, especially with a plastic bead. You will work it through. And there you can see we're starting to work it through. It's on the skin. And now we got to just work those hairs back. So using a needle or whatever, work all those hairs back. And eventually you get, you know, your nice little hot bead there sitting in amongst the skin, just like the one I had done here earlier on. Just like so, you see. Lovely subtle little bead hanging in the bottom there. I'm going to trim off a little bit of that tail. It's a little bit long. Just put a little taper on that there as well. So now, and just take your time working with this. Get a rough idea guide length. It's going to be a good bit longer of the length of the fly I want here. Separate out your cut away. Tie it in. Same process as last time. Tie it in there with a little bit of a wedge. Okay, you can see that wedge of hair, or the skin is just up there, tan skin. And that's just it. Allow me not to. So I don't pull it out, or as I'm going through, if they knock the thread bobbin off, that'll just separate. Get your work your zonker, make sure it's sitting exactly on top. Don't trap down too many hairs. So this one's a long tail, as you can see. This one's going to have a lot of articulation in it. So when you're stripping this one, you know, then you're getting your chasers, there is a chance they'll nip at that tail. They'll hit that little bead bobbling around. The bead just helps with articulation. It gives a hot spot as well. But you know, keep stripping. Or sometimes if you're stripping and you're getting follows and follows and follows, and you're getting little nips and tucks, you know, you've got to change something to try and, you know, get that fish to really attack the fly. Some people don't like fishing long-tailed zonkers for that simple reason. I don't mind, because you know, it keeps stripping and you try and figure it out. If you sudden stop on a pluck, or just seconds after a pluck, there is a good chance that fish will just plow into that fly and take it. Sometimes if you speed up a little bit, he'll come more aggressively at it. So it's up, you know, it's on any given day to figure out what way the fish are actually going to take that that fly on you. So, you know, as regards when they're chasing, a couple of little strands there, just trapped away there. I'll just pluck them out. And the same fishing any zonkers, you know, you've got to work that retrieve. You got to keep testing it, keep trying to. Let's just tip my scissors in there now. Just cut away the bulk of that wedge of tan. There. A couple of turns of thread now. I'll just get that good and secure. Then I'm going to take some, kind of got a silver hank of stuff here. Don't know where it came from. Don't know the brand. It's a nice fine silver hank. Geez, no problem, Keith. You're more than welcome. Yeah, I think they're on bunny leeches, Keith. I think that's where I first came across them. If someone can be, maybe Dennis or someone there that know a bit more about it than I do, but I think bunny leeches have that little bead stuck in the tail. Is that where the bunny leech gets its idea, Dennis? Is it? Or whoever can tell me. But it's good, and it can really, you know, give that extra articulation to the fly. It can give that little bit of extra articulation to the fly. I'm just reading back on some of your messages there and make sure I don't miss out one in. So this goes in over the top. like so. You can even split that and bring it just slightly a little bit down either side. It's a lovely soft material as well, so it's not going to interfere with the articulation of the tail. Sometimes some of that stuff is too stiff, and you want to kind of come back to full length. So I'm not going to do a natural cut. I'm just going to get in there and just make sure none of those go back any further than the tail. So Keith's on there as well, folks. Keith will be on with us again this season. He done a fantastic show with us last season on streamer fishing. This is not just a streamer, like this is just me tying with zonkers. A lot of people are asking me about minkies and zonkers. So I said, look, I'll just do a zonker night altogether. Couple of different flies and techniques. But Keith will be on with us there. I'm not sure any of you have checked out his new business yet. Impact Fly Fishing, I think, is a Keith. Lovely new website, lovely business there on streamer fishing. Check it out. Fantastic guy. Really knows his stuff, and he's some beautiful flies on there. All I'm going to do now then is add in another little bit of silver dubbing up the head of that, in around that bead. And that's what I call my silver minky. Good simple fly. Very effective for fry chasers. You can do a single bead. Yeah, Dennis Anderson, bunny leeches, that's where that comes from. No problem, Josh. Hope the birthday was good, buddy. We had planned to meet up, myself and Josh, there over this period, but unfortunately it didn't work out for us. Soon we'll get to meet up. I'd say I'll be a sick man for a few days after that little get together. But little bit brush out with that dubbing underneath. Lovely flash to that fly. You know, lovely, very naturally kind of fishy flash to it and stuff. Real good zonker pattern. And say with that little bead, then just gives that bit of extra articulation was the word I'm looking for. So there we have it, folks. There's another nice zonker for you. When that thing gets wet, then it marries lovely together. That silver flash comes down through that tail, and when that thing is moving through the water with that length of tail, you're going to get a lot of fry chasers with that, and they will hit it. You know, don't be afraid. Keep stripping. Figure out what they want. Once you're stripping, they're chasing, plucking, whatever it may be. They might want a dead stop and literally stop dead in the water and just leave that fly sitting there, or speed it up, whatever they want on that particular day. That's up to figure out, depending on the venue and the. Now I've got a mouthful of hairs here, but it depends on the venue and the way fish are behaving on that day, whether they're chasing or fast or hard or whatever it may be. Now we got two more fantastic flies for you, folks. I'm going to take a drink of my bottle of water. Mouth's a bit dry tonight. I had a little bit of a head cold during the week. And I'm trying to be good for the last couple of weeks, actually. I haven't been drinking much alcohol, much to some people's surprise. But trying to get back doing a little bit of running, back to a little bit of healthy shout after that whole COVID mess. So not on the booze as much as they used to be. But so we got a lovely Here's Your Zonker streamer coming up. How you doing, Patrick Smith? Thanks, John Shaw. And we got a snake. Going to do a good black snake for you as well. Show you how about snake. They're coming up just after we have a little chat with Marius and Darius. So the fishing buddies popped into the shop here towards the end of last season, and I nabbed them for a little bit of a chat to see how things are going with them, how was their season, and what are they looking forward to. So thanks a million to Marius and Darius. Congratulations against Darius on winning the first round. Thank God there's 5 rounds in AWOL, and thank God we can drop one leg, which means I'm not out of it just yet. Not that I'd be expecting to do any good other than mid-table with the field of anglers that's in that competition, but still nice not to be on the bottom. So there's another 4 rounds to go. But Marius is in front with 11 points. Well done, Marius. And as I said, I got to chat to the boys here before, so enjoyed a little bit of a chat here with them. And I'll see you all in a few minutes. Thanks very much, Neil. How's it going, boys? You're very welcome.
Hello, Peter.
How are you doing?
Oh, still alive.
How's the fishing today?
Oh, it's tough conditions, very windy. We got a few nice fish, a lot of fish taking the dry fly, even in the big wind.
Was there free rising fish?
No, It was only few fish rising and jumping in the flats, you know.
Right.
We do clink and ding today.
Yeah.
So a lot of nice size fish taking a dry fly.
Okay,
not
right.
the nymph, you know.
Not touching the top.
No touching the nymph, no. Very tough actually, yeah. Very tough.
How was the season in general for you? I know from all accounts I have is that it was a very tough latter half of the season, but in general, how did you just find your year?
Yeah, it's see,
Middle. Say, not the best year.
No,
but
same as that. No, it was I
Just
thought it was a
kind
crap
of-
year. Really, quite honestly, it's a year I certainly won't remember. Between that cold spell earlier on in the season, just killed the whole.
I don't know. I can't complain, you know.
I've got a few handy ones there in the last
Yeah.
couple of days. There we've seen on Facebook. Yeah, some
Yeah,
nice
and
trout, but-
especially with the COVID and all that, you know, the restrictions. I was far away from the home to fish,
Right.
so only the season start for me is only like middle of May.
Oh well, right. Yeah.
You know, like we living a little bit further from the river, so
Yeah.
I couldn't reach it.
we can't. We have to stay home and watch the videos.
But you made up for it since. He's made up for it since. Got a lot of fishing done this year. You were here in Thomastown.
Yeah.
Things didn't go same as ourselves. Things
Yeah,
didn't
sure.
go our way. But sure, look at that's the nature of competition fishing, I suppose, boys, isn't it? Like, you know, tournament fishing. You know, you make all the best plans you can, but if the draws don't work out and your plan doesn't work out for you,
That's it. Yeah,
You just
it's,
look forward to
it's
next
nice. It's
Always next year.
yeah.
always next year, and it's very nice to see the young guys winning it.
Absolutely, yeah. There was 2 young teams up there now, and they did really well. Like,
Very
you know,
well, yeah, and probably put a lot of work as well. You know, we too old now, too lazy.
I know you guys are, you know, big team effort is get puts there. You've done the business plenty of times in many competitions, and something I noticed this year, just congratulate you on, is your sponsorship deals. You know, it's great to see Irish competitors and Irish anglers getting recognised by companies and heightening the sport and the awareness of the sport and kind of that. So it was Leash Angling Centre. And
Yeah, we want to
Eco-Wise.
say big thanks to the Leash Angling Centre and Eco-Wise Insulations from Galway.
Sponsor this year.
Yeah, it's
so
great to see it, like,
hopefully
yeah.
next year as well, you know.
Yeah, it's great, and it'd be great to see other teams, you know, going out there looking for that and getting that bit of recognition that they deserve as sportsmen. Like, you know, tournament fishing takes a lot out of us, as we know. We put a lot of times, no more than yourselves. Like, geez, you know, you are the perfect team almost. The practices put in and the work rate is put in, and it's great to see some recognition there and that from outside,
definitely, yeah.
you know, the sport, like.
And you know, it's a good advertising for them as well.
Absolutely.
You know, so
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
is happy, like, you know.
Yeah. And how did you, as regards your season, like, you know, what will you take away from the season? Is there something that, not really that you kind of stumble upon, but like, what do you, we're heading into the winter months now, and we all have AWOL to look for, go back, you know, back stocky bashing for the winter months, and it'll be very competitive, I'm sure. But what are you taking away from this season that you're looking to work on for next season that you think, there's the gap, you know, it's like any sports or any, I do the same myself, and I know my partner Dave Donovan we'll try and identify the league gaps there from last season, say, right, that's our target, that's what we got to work on for the winter into the spring and be ready for next season. Did you come up with any kind of issues or problems this season that kind of say we got to work a bit harder on that for next year, like, in general terms?
Some technique, maybe some, you know.
Maybe more dry fly and
Okay,
more
yeah.
clink and dink.
Yeah.
You know, like most of the people can nymph.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
nymph in any conditions.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to change.
Yeah.
So I kind of struggling sometimes on the dry. Like even
Right.
today was a crazy weather. So you need that more experience. So I think so next year we're gonna do more work on the clink and dink and dry fly.
Yeah. It's crucial, isn't it? Like,
It's crucial,
and I think
yes.
the Kings River coming into the tournament this year, really, I know, and that's definitely one of our areas too. You know,
Yeah.
so much so that I'm going to do a bit of research now during the winter months and maybe find a masterclass to attend or something. I'm really good dry fly fishing abroad. You know, because I feel the very same. That week in that area, we're all nymphing, everybody's nymphing.
Yeah.
But in order to be a good competition angler, or just a good general all-around angler, you've got to be able to fish the conditions. And if you haven't got the skills when the trout start rising, well,
Yeah,
then you're
exactly.
going to
And
suffer,
even
like.
the presentation and casting skills, that's important too.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
if you have a 2 rocks or weed or something and you can flip it straight to the fish,
Yeah.
you have to mend the line. So that's all practice.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that's looks like a plan for next year. Do more dry fly fishing, maybe more clink and dink fishing, you know,
Right.
different spots. do the flats, maybe hard places where another team's maybe not fishing.
Yeah.
And 1 or 2 fish can change that.
Oh, look at you. That's always the nature of the game, lads. 1 or 2 fish.
One
It's
or
always
two
that one
fish,
fish
yeah.
or 2 fish. I couldn't count how many competitions I drove home from our angling days where you're just thinking about that 1 fish you lost or 2 fish you lost, and if only they got that fish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that would have been the difference between top 10 finisher and being on the podium.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So if you've got to be able to pick up those fish. So and what's the plans then for the winter months? You're going to your fishing AWOL?
Yes.
Yeah, both fishing AWOL, right? You'll see us down there.
That's another nice competition.
Yeah, it's a good crack, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
Good bunch of guys,
Yeah.
and there's a few new names this year.
That's
as well.
right, yeah.
Some
Yeah.
masters, some good anglers too.
Yeah, so there's out of 20 odd guys that are fishing it, there'll be 20 odd guys looking to win it.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? You know, so it'll be competitive, but it's good fun as well. It's over 5 legs, 4 count, and that'll keep us busy now for the winter
Oh
months.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're watching your videos as well on the YouTube, and you can feel it. The winter
Distraction,
gonna go,
yeah.
and we'll start new
Distraction on
season
Saturday
again.
night, yeah. And any other plans then for the winter?
I got invited this year to go to a Grayling Festival,
Very good, yeah.
so can't wait to do a bit practicing next month and month after, and
Right.
then December.
Yeah.
Can't
That's
wait.
good.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
be busy now on device tying the killer flies.
Oh yeah, we'll have to get send us over a few of those, Darius. So we'll, huh? That's some chance, I'd say.
Yeah.
So I suppose they're 2 competitive guys and really good fishermen. Like, is they're highly recognised, you know, internationally as well as nationally. You know, something we always ask anyone we do a little interview is kind of top tips in general. What's, you know, as a let's take it from kind of a team perspective. What kind of top tips would you guys have for anyone starting out into fishing, or someone looking to get into competition fishing, or just fishing in general? Have you got any kind of top tips that come to mind?
Stay calm.
Stay calm.
Stay calm
That's
and
it, yeah.
maybe get 1 or 2 lessons from the professional anglers or
Right.
guides
Like
or
Peter.
Peter.
That's a common one, actually. That comes up a lot. Even I did some interviews yesterday on Cork with some other people, and I think one of their top tips was the same as that: go get lessons, go meet anglers. There's plenty of guys out there, not even myself, but like plenty of other really good cast instructors, flight line instructors, you know,
Exactly.
nymphers, not even in Ireland, but around the world, that you can
Around the
go
world, yeah.
around Europe, go and get that lessons, because you learn so much more from being in the river
And you
with
learn
someone.
faster as
So
well.
much faster. Yeah.
Because if you learn yourself, you're doing a lot of mistakes, a lot of wrong casting and this and that.
Yeah.
If you get the instructor, you're gonna tell you you're doing this wrong, so you're gonna save the time.
A lot of time.
And okay, it's cost you money, but
It's an investment.
in the future. And if you are a beginner fly fisherman and you want to do the competitions, my opinion, you have to do maybe controlling 1 or twice
Right,
or
yeah,
3
that's
times.
good, yeah.
You see how it works,
Mm.
what has to be done, and then if you qualified, why not?
Yeah, controlling is a very good way. Even if you don't want to get into competition fishing, but you want to improve on your own bit of
Yes.
pleasure fishing,
Oh,
well, then by going to some of those tournaments, you get to see the lads, and, you know.
Oh
And
yeah,
yeah.
sure. I remember 10 years ago I was fishing first time in the ITFFA, the Nationals, and in the one session I got 3 fish,
Right.
and the angler after me came in the same spot, he got 25.
Holy crap. Right.
So I can't understand why that angler got more fish than me.
Mm.
So after that I was practicing in the same stretch of the river
Right.
when I got 25 fish. But you learning the river is not about nymphing, dry fly or wet fly fish.
Right.
You have to read the water. You
Okay,
have to
yeah.
understand the what fly hatching, where the fish lays, and all that.
And when you're starting on a beat, what's the first thing you're looking for? What makes you decide I'm going to start there?
You see, it depends on the competition. Like in Ireland, we have 2 competitions: the ITFFA and the TAFE one. It has a little bit different rules.
Of course, absolutely. One's beats and one isn't. Yeah.
Like, you know, if you're going in the number.
Let's say that the Phipps Moosh style of it, the Thomastown, the Connacht Championships or the Nationals, so you're given 300-400 yards of water. When you're walking your beat, what's the one thing you're looking for to say, I'm going there, right at the start? Do you take the approach now? I kind of taken this approach over the last couple of years, is that I look for the hot spot. I look to put scores on the card as fast as possible. I go. I don't say I'm going to start at the bottom, work my way up. I look and I straight away go, fucking, there has to be trouble there.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's where I go straight. So you're the same.
Yeah, you walk your bead and you look where a hot spots is.
Right.
So, for example, in the one stretch, you're gonna maybe see 3 or 4 hot spots. So if you go over there, you pick up 5 fish. You can leave that place for a while and you go in another spot. So that place is gonna rest.
So you're recycling your
So if you're going maybe a little down or up, you fishing, you still have a chance to get another fish.
Right.
And then you can come back again, because the hot spots is always another fish coming back.
Right.
But in the tough conditions, you know yourself, Peter, if you have a no runny water, only the flat, then is another tactic. Maybe start from the bottom and work all the way up.
Find the fish.
Find the fish where they are.
Good stuff. Yeah. Anything else that you have a tip? Anything else for the aspiring young anglers? The lads that are looking to defend their title next year, I'd say there could be a bit more pressure on them next year. There's a lot of older teams there.
Oh, we're gonna do more practice.
More pressure
So
on.
practice.
Exactly,
yeah,
practice, and
Get out
then
and fish.
you know, and then practice pays off.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And always no secrets with your partners. Always truth, work like a team, because
All the way to
you're
the-
never gonna do it good
Absolutely.
in the
Can't
team
preach enough.
event if you not working as a team.
Yeah. You're only as good as the man beside you, like, so you've got to work as a team. And communication.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Be it good or bad, shouting, roaring, or cursing. At least it's communication.
Yeah.
you're communicating to somebody, so
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
exactly.
Look at that. Really appreciate you for your time, and thanks a million. And sure, look, I'll see you all in AWOL, and have a good winter, and we'll be back on the rivers in spring.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
See you next year.
Yeah.
So there we have it, folks. Lovely little chat there with two absolutely fantastic anglers. Definitely two of the top competition anglers I've ever met. Their work rate, their practice, their whole ethos around competition fishing is to be highly admired. And yeah, really nice guys. There's a few great comments there as well. You know, lads are always willing to share, which is great. And some good advice there from two good anglers. I hope you enjoyed that. And thanks very much for Marius and Darius, the fishing buddies, for coming on and having a little chat and sharing some of their experience in fly fishing. It was great to have a chat with the guys and great for them to come on. And we got some great interviews lined up. I've done a load of interviews over the last couple of months in the summertime. I got some absolute crackers coming up that we'll be sharing throughout the whole series here. We're live here every Saturday night till March. And lots of stuff coming up, lots of different evenings based on different fly tying techniques and different types of fishing. We will have a competition night. Something we didn't have last year was a real sit down and talk and tactical about competition fishing for those people that like competition. Yeah, Richie, I know that as well, man. There sure is lots of crack in those two. So it's going to be a competition night. I haven't structured it how I'm going to do it yet. I am toying with the idea of maybe 5 or 6 top competition guys coming together in a semicircle and really trashing out the core principles on, you know, for people that want to get into tournament fishing and stuff like that. So I'm working on that one. That'll be coming up along the series somewhere along the way. We've a long way to go to get us to Paddy's Day. So we've lots of shows coming up. So make sure tune in every Saturday night at 8:30. Bar next Saturday night, don't forget. I won't be here next Saturday night. I'll be on the way home from Wales at this stage, hopefully after getting a couple of grayling. So we will be back on then the first weekend in November, which will be the very start of our Nymphing November series. Okay, we'll have a couple of weeks all based on nymphing, techniques, tactics, talking on the river, meeting some experts, doing lots of flies and stuff. So that's coming up after our break the next week. We're going to move on now quickly, and we're going into a snake. Okay, so here I've got a W12 SL Dahaku hook and device. Okay, I like it size 12 for. Dave's got the question coming up there soon as well, folks. If you want to win yourselves a selection of Zonkers from Pescari Fly here. You can check him out online if anyone's looking for any Zonkers. Check out www.pescarifly.com or give us a shout or even drop in for an old chat. Okay, so what we're going to do here now first is I'm going to put in a little hot tail on the back of this. So this is one I've used quite regularly myself, and Come on, Ricky. Ricky's on was there as well. Kevin Shawn is on was there. Peter O'Connell and Lucas Rise is on there. Seeing a few extra. I don't get to see everybody's name is on because we stream to several different places. So hi to everybody and hope everyone's having a good Saturday night. It's wet and wild outside and it's a perfect night for flight time. And we'll be finished just in time for anyone that wants to head off to a nightclub there now tonight. You'll be able to head out. So a little small hot glow bright number 11 going on the back of that hook. Not a whole lot, doesn't need to be a monstrous amount. Just enough there that when those fish are chasing that black snake, this is a black booby snake by the way, that they will they'll have that target point to hit. Okay. I'm gonna take out now. I use a braid, which is a white braid, for my attachment between the two hooks. Okay, nice and soft, very subtle. That's what I use. And I generally tend to colour it then with a marker depending on the zonker. If I was doing an olive zonker, I'd be putting olive in there. If it was white zonker, I wouldn't be putting any colour in it. Because it's black, I'll actually colour that black. So I just put it on a piece of paper and pull it through and it starts to go black. You got to pull it through 2 or 3 times and you get a nice piece of black braid. Very soft and very subtle. Won't again affect the articulation of the fly, which is very important. These flies are meant to move, wiggle and wobble, and then we have a nice bit of black braid. Okay, give that a second to dry. Just only take a microsecond there. That should be fine. And what we'll do then, you got to trap this stuff in real well. Okay, so I'll tie it in this way first, on top of the hook. And then once I get down there, I'll then pull it back up the hook again. So we're doubling up, similar to what we did with the monofilaments earlier on. And that's just to make sure that when that fish takes this back hook, Dave's questions on there. Who was voted the 2021 Fly Tire by Fly Tying Magazine? Great question, and congratulations. That'd be nice. Yeah, exactly, Darius. No fishing tomorrow for the boys. So lash that in, okay? Double up. So if it takes that back hook, that braid is not going to pull through. Okay, it's good and strong, well lashed in there, and it's not going to have any problem going through. If you want to put a little bit, the first correct answer, yeah, thanks a million, Lucas. Lucas made a good point. These videos are always up on YouTube tomorrow, and they're up there to stay. So anyone ever wants to go back looking at them, then they can see them up on YouTube. Even last year's ones and all are still up there. Okay, so once that's well secured in, I'm going to go down the bottom, make sure that is dry because you don't want to start putting zonker. So for the zonker for this one, I'm using black mink. Okay, a nice same, very good, Jim. That's good. Jim is saying there he uses carp line. It's a nice slim. It's only 2 mil cut, and I like my snakes to be really slim. Sorry. So even if I'm using rabbit, I will cut it down. But the black mink, and it's very soft, very supple, and very soft and very supple. So in my hand, I'll just expose the very end of that braid or that tan. Okay, you get another mouthful of mink here. I'll actually put a little bit of black onto this Kevlar here now at this particular point. And I'll take that little piece of exposure. We don't have a big, massive, long tail sticking out of the back of this one. Not just yet. A little bit awkward. Everything's tied out over the front for a minute. Just take your time. Couple of turns there with that Kevlar. That's not going anywhere for the moment. Remember, the braid is what's going to be supporting this fly. Then fold that back. Then I'm going to take a little bit of spectra dubbing. Small little pinch. Just to tidy up that back hook. How you doing, Paul? Paul Ford is analyst there. Come on, Paul. Thank you very much. Great to have everyone on tonight. We're live here every Saturday night. If anybody ever has any requests, by the way, please feel free to shoot them across at any time. Yeah, Dennis. I'd say you have an old snake or two in your box too, Dennis. Huh? They're serious fish catchers. Yeah. Just a little bit of. I'll just go back over that again just to make sure it's all nice, neat, tidy on that. Now take your mink And again, moisten it up. Expose that. A little bit more black marker there for a second. Expose that core there, that little hide. Get your thread in there. Make sure that mink is sitting perfectly on top. And trap it in. Take your thread up underneath the eye. Whip finish. Robert Flaherty is the winner. Well done, Robert. I'll get those anchors off in the post to you. Now, that's our first segment of that fly tied in. Well secured. Our little yellow hot spot there at the butt. Just if they're chasing, I like that little bit of hot spot there. If they're chasing, it can just entice them when they get up nice and close to it. Take that. Now, if I'm tying a whole nest of snakes, I'll do that. I'll just keep doing that for 10 or 15 of them or whatever. And then I'll move on to the next section. Okay, for the next section, I'll take out a streamer type size 10. Barry Ord Clark won that fly tires prize. Well done, Barry. An absolute amazing fly tire. His book is fantastic. Fly tying techniques. Really, it's a great reference point. So well done. So now, moving on. Let me get my trail of thought here first for a second. Actually, I don't need that. I need to prepare my booby eyes. Okay, so I do my booby eyes on a needle, as do a lot of people. Small black booby eyes. These are 5mm black. A little bit of trimming on them, just do it with a scissors. You can use Dremel tools and you can use all that kind of stuff. I just use the scissors. I'm not that overly fussy with them. Of course, I see a few places now selling pre-formed ones. I still like to do my own. Some people even bake them in an oven after they form them. I actually had a great chat with Brian Kerr one time. Last year, the year before, I think, no, geez, where am I going now? Sure. 2 or 3 years ago. And good stuff, John. Great to have you on there, John, from New Zealand. And Brian Kerr is a renowned international bank angler, Commonwealth gold medalist and individual champion at Commonwealth as well. Was on an Irish team with me in Italy for the World Championships. And Brian wrote a blog for us on my blog. You can check it out, all about doing boobies and booby eyes and stuff. We will have a stocky night coming up in a while. We will have a stocky night coming up in a while, and we will be covering some stuff like this as well. So we slide that once we have formed our little bit of curvature on the end of each out, slide it up onto the thread. I take a little bit of black U80, and I just form my booby eyes on that. Couple of turns on. Thanks, Dennis. Whip finish. The snakes can be done with single eyes, they can be done with booby eyes, chain eyes, or no eyes at all. It depends. This is just one that's fairly popular. Now, take out that. Booby eyes are ready. Put in your hook, my size 10 streamer hook. And switch back to my Kevlar for the moment, good and strong. A good lashing of that there now as well. Thanks, Mark. Now, so depending on the length you want, you can measure it out. 4 or 5 inches is normally 4 to 5 inches. Is normally the general. You can have short ones, long ones, whatever it may be. Okay. General length, you can't see the back end of it, but it's out here on the other side of the camera. I'll widen out that view in a few minutes. I'll keep it on the hook that I'm actually working on at the moment to kind of give you. So what I'm doing is getting a rough length of where I want the zonker, and I pull that zonker not too tight, and that'll give me a rough length. And what I'm actually doing is I'm going to hold, it's to get the placement for the braid, because the braid is the most important. That's what's going to be lashed in there first. So move the zonker out of your way, and then trap in that braid. Okay, so trap it in on top of the hook like so. So now I know what the general length of the fly is going to be. Now the braid is going to be the support of this fly, not the zonker strip, okay? As that zonker strip will just break if a fish takes that back one, okay? So I lash that down there, all the way up along the hook. And then I'll actually put it through the eye of the hook and lash it in underneath as well. That means that's not going to pull through. Again, when a fish takes that back hook, he's not going to pull out that braid. And now putting a bit of pressure on that thread. That's the best thing with Kevlar. You can really lash it in there and get a lot of tension, get it down nice and tight to that body. Trap it all down the whole way. Alright. And that's well secured in. That's not going anywhere. Now, next thing I'm going to add in there is a few little strands of crystal flesh. I just like to add in 3 or 4 there at the back of that, just to get roughly your background to where that back hook is. They can be tidied up a little bit afterwards. Now I'm going to just colour that black, and now we're going to attach on our zonker. Take your zonker up now, and now hold it tight. Hold that back hook tight, as you can see. You can see what the braid is doing there. It's really tight out the back. And then I'm not putting as much tension on the zonker, but I'm just getting it so it's nice and tight. It's not tight, but it's just not loose, if you understand what I mean. So that braid is now really tight. I'm putting a lot of pressure on that back hook, and then just calmly sitting the zonker down on top, so it's all going to stay in on the same length. I then expose the core, or not the core, the hide, and we get in there. We just trap that at the back of that hook. A couple of turns like so. Now, we're going to put another little bit of peacock dubbing up along that hook there to hide our underworkings. What would you fish if they weren't taking it, James? Look at you, just try. There's always days fish don't take it, but you keep trying. You know, you keep trying. That's all you can do. Some days you're better off just going home, playing flies. So, coming up along that, I'll just go back down over, tidy up, keep it nice and slim. Make sure everything is staying on top. And expose it. And tidy it up near the head. Lovely. I'll widen out the view on that camera for you now in a second, folks, and then as I get a better gawk at this one. Secured at the top. Everything's nice and secure. Nothing's going anywhere. Everything's nice and straight. And when that fly is pulled tight, everything really does sit quite well together. So, yeah, Kieran, I have used them. They can be quite good too. It depends on the day. Kieran was wondering about the barred zonkers. Can be quite good. I have an olive barred zonker that I use quite a bit. Now, next thing you can do is you can add in another little bit of... There's loads of little additives you can put into a snake. You can leave them very plain or very bare, or you can add in a little bit of flashing things to them as well. So I'd add another little bit of pearl over the top. 2 or 3 strands, more than enough. You can add a little bit of globe right there, rubber legs. You can do a multitude of stuff there. Okay, what I'll do then is I'll colour up that Kevlar once again. And we always add the boobies eyes last. Even when you're tying boobies, they go in last. Okay. Actually, I'll put in just another tiny pinch of Spectra. And put the booby eyes on top of that. figure of 8 and through that little cavity where you put in the black tray, secure them in on top, couple of turns, up to the head, that's them tied in there. We'll finish it off. And in there underneath, get your zap it, got glue, super glue, whatever you use. And I use a needle in this spot so I don't make sure none of this runs down into the hackle. A little bit of a dabble there. Get it in there and that'll soak up into those eyes and stop those eyes from twisting around as well. And make sure everything's lovely and secure. Now, lovely. Before you finish, 2 hooks are trouble. 2 hooks are trouble, so we're going to take off the front hook. I have done it. Russian, cut off the back hook by mistake. Very good, thanks a minute for that. Keith's on there with some great advice. Hook, pliers. Always make sure the pliers facing away from your eyes, of course. And snip. She's ready for the water. That thing is lethal, folks. Black booby snake. You can see the back hook there. The little hot spot in the back. Coming through our braid, nice and tight. A little bit of flash underneath, a little bit of flash on top. And up to your boobies. Attach it like that. Well secure. Very important when you're doing it. The braid is crucial there. Or whatever material you use there. Yeah, I do, Jim, and I did it on the front fly. The braid does go through. If you watch back in the video, the braid does go through the eye of the hook. It does. That's the way I secured it at the top of it. If I didn't mention that clearly, sorry about that now. But I do. It always goes through the eye of the hook. The first one, the back one, it doesn't because if it makes it just kink in the wrong direction. But there you go, little mink. Thanks, John. Thanks everyone. Little mink, booby zonker or booby snake, and very effective indeed. Great fish pattern and. Yep, stripped in lots of different ways. A little bit of sparkle underneath, a little bit of sparkle on top. That thing will catch fish. Yeah, if you're stocky bashing this winter, folks, you're going to need snakes. Thanks, Darius. You're going to need snakes. White, green, black, chartreuse, 4 inches, 6 inches. Yeah, they're going to catch a fish. So another one into the box. Don't forget, in order to win it, all you got to do is comment or share the stream, and we'll be doing a draw later on in the week to do that. Last fly, last quick one. I got an olive zonker here that I wanted to really show you. This is one I tied going to Canada a couple of years back, but it actually proved to be a real good fish catcher here as well, especially in Laois Angling Centre. This was a really good one for me in Laois Angling Centre. Size 10 streamer hook, and I'm going to put a gold bead on that there. Gold countersunk. Dennis and the boys are having a bit of banter there. Very simple little zonker pattern, but very good. Tie it without a bead as well if you wish. Okay, now, so we got a little bit of olive rabbit here. Start off with our Kevlar. Thanks, Tony. Start off with our Kevlar again, as usual. Actually, now this is a bit big, probably for the one I was using. Laois was probably on a 12 or a 10, maybe. This is a size, it's actually a size 10 streamer. Maybe a normal size 12 streamer might be a little bit better if you're tying this up, but just for the show, because I have this the ones here. Take your olive zonker, tie it in at the end, leave it in a good wedge of the skin back up there as before, and then secure all that in. Lash it in there really well. Trim it off the lint. Like so. You can taper that up if you want. Great articulation, this one again. Thanks, Martin. Thanks. Hope everyone's enjoying the show. Little bit of, this is angel hair chartreuse, metallic chartreuse. Lovely stuff. Love this with a bit of olive. Very fine. Angel hair is a great additive to any kind of pattern. It's very fine, very mobile. Small little bit of that now. Just kind of lash it in over the top. Don't be too fancy with it, and lash it back again there. So it kind of goes a little bit down the sides, a little bit everywhere, and just adds a little gold flick to that. It won't break too easy that straight, so just get in there with the scissors and just cut it off. So it's not any really longer than that tail. Just adds a lovely little flick. Very subtle, very subtle little gold flick and stuff like. Then form a double loop. Not like the ones we normally do where we split the thread. I'm actually forming a loop out of the whole thread. It's just too big of a dubbin, and I'm using my dubbin twister here. There's our own dubbin twisters there. I need to come with a couple of different heads and hang that there for a moment with the thread. Okay, now you take your zonker. Zonkers are good for a couple of different things. I also, take the hair off the zonker. So just on the table beside me here, I have a sheet of paper. What I'm going to do is just going to basically trim off about an inch of that zonker and lay it on the table beside me. Trying to keep it kind of in a line, if you get what I mean. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is take my holographic angel hair, and I'm going to expose some of that there out of the packet and trim it off. And I'm going to cut that. I'm going to cut that in on the top of that hair, roughly around the same length. So basically, when I do my dubbing brush here, I'm going to have the long hair pieces, and I'm going to have a little gold flick going through it as well. Okay, as I pick it up. Take your double loop and now start selecting. As you can see, we have our long hairs and we have our gold holographic, or chartreuse holographic, going through that as well. And start getting it into that double loop. Now we don't want it in the middle. We don't want the hair stuck in the middle of the double loop. We want it to one side, so we're going to have a long. Stack it up along. Can be tedious work, just be patient. Take your time. Sometimes it can fall out, sometimes it'll go in easy for you. Get it in there now first, and then we can manipulate it to exact right size we want. Put in plenty. It's always good to have more of this in there than less. Once you got it stacked in, fold it up, and then I'm going to just push it all out to one side to make sure I'm going to have nice long fibres to work with now in a minute. Hold the thread with your finger and thumb and start spinning the lower part of the thread. If you don't do that, it's all going to end up on the ground. And then slowly release that spin, and you start getting a nice spin. Most guys know what we're, a fly like this, the tying of this will be similar to some pike flies and different things and stuff. But as you're spinning it up along, work it all out. Make sure you're getting a nice long and as even as possible. And take your dubbing brush and start winding it up the body. And at the same time stroking it back. While the body will look big and bulky, when that fly is wet, that'll all slim down and it will marry back perfectly into the tail. Not quite as long in this section here now for a minute, so I'll use up that bit there, and then I'll get a longer bit coming up. This has worked really well for me in Leash Angle Centre, and it's just a smaller size, folks. It's a lovely gold fleck, that metallic. It looks gold to me, that's why I call it gold, but it says in the packet it is a metallic chartreuse. So once you've got up near the bead, securing the dubbing brush, a couple of more turns in there. And then we can start working that out. Yeah, pretty much Dennis is a bunny, yeah. Brush it forward, brush it back. That gold fleck then is coming through there, you can see it. Just subtle, it's not over, you're not overkill there, which is very important with that gold, or that, sorry, chartreuse angel hair. But you can see you're getting a lovely bit of shape, which you can moisten up your hands. And you can see the way that whole thing goes back into itself quite naturally. Lovely fly, great movement, very soft. Very soft, fantastic move in the water. That hair just pulses every time you stroke that fly line. It pulses through the water. The gold fleck just jumps out. And yeah, it's been a real effective pattern over the last number of seasons. So once I've got that done there, I still have a few little bits to add to it. We have a little bit of white. A little bit of white Zonker here as well. And I'm going to just take a little pinch off that there. Again, not overkill, just a small little pinch. We're going to put that in underneath. Just there to bead. 1 or 2 loose turns. Okay, don't pull it real tight just yet. I'll show you now in a second. Alright, then I'm going to take a little bit of brown. And a similar amount in the brown. Again, careful for overkill, we don't need it. I'm going to put that in the top. And again, 1 or 2 loose turns. Get them into position. Where's my scissors gone? I've that much stuff in front of me now. And just trim them off. You don't have to be dead tight to the bead. Just trim off your waist there a little bit. Hold everything in position. 1 or 2 good turns and give it a pull. See the way everyone gets sucked in behind the bead? Couple of loose turns, trap it in. 1 or 2 tight turns and then pull. Pull it in behind the bead then, and then that's sucks everything in behind the bead, that Kevlar, and makes it a very strong fly and a really nice even finish. I don't want to put any dubbins or anything up now in the head of that. I want to keep it exactly. Thanks a million, Dennis. So hope you get a few on it. I know you've got a few on it anyway. And it has been a great fly. Make sure everyone's nicely pushed back and we're exactly where it should be. Got a nice little brown. A nice little brown, little white. White's a little bit off center. That's okay, we can. It's close enough. As I say, it's close enough. A little bit off center, but that's okay. Underneath, little gold, that little bit of angel hair is lovely, and a lovely gold flick. Very natural colour. You can do a style of, yeah, I do, Sorka, I do try loads of different types of lint minkies and snakes, stuff like that. And it depends on what they want on any given day or the venue. But there's a really good way of using zonkers as well, you know, tail and then use the zonker body up along. You can see the way the whole thing marries back together. It's a lovely streamer. And very, very effective. One I hope you all catch many fish with going forward. Lots of movement in it, very soft body and stuff, so it's really good. And there we have it, folks. Another Saturday night over 10 to 10. Another Saturday night over. A little bit of a zonker night. There's so many people asking me about different zonkers and snakes and things like that. I said I'll just do a zonker night for you tonight and get it over. Some nice flies there to be won. Watch out on Wednesday for that. Thanks a million to Dave Donovan for his trivia as usual. Yes, James, we will be at the Adair show. So Ned Maher's having an England show in Maybank holiday weekend, and Pescari Fly will be there, all bells and whistles. We'll be doing some live talks at the show. We'll be doing demonstrations, and we'll have the entire shop there as well, so it'll be great. So thanks a million for everyone watching. Really appreciate everybody's support. Thank you so much here at Pescari Fly. You all mean so much to us. I hope you all enjoyed the night. I hope you all have a great week and next weekend, because I won't be here with you next weekend, unfortunately. I'll be on the way back from Wales, but I'll drop a video or drop you a bit of a something to keep you occupied for next Saturday. And we're back live then the following Saturday night with our first installment of November. We got some brilliant experts coming on, some great patterns to share, which is all. And yeah, looking forward to that one. So thanks a million, everyone. Have a great weekend. Don't forget, if you need any flies, fly tying gear, or any advice, give us a shout at www.pescarifly.com. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. Anyone heading out to nightclub tonight, enjoy Luca, enjoy the beer festival in Glennon, and looking forward to the Welsh Tea next weekend. So we'll drop a couple of Facebook posts along the way and let you know where we're getting on. So take care, everyone, and thanks a million for watching as always. It's been a pleasure.